Hi and welcome. My name is Kati Harris, and this workshop is called What to Write so People Take Action. Knowing what to write on LinkedIn and beyond so that the right people take action is a stumbling block for nearly everyone I work with, and getting this clarity can feel really difficult and it can hold you up. Besides, to get this messaging clarity that compels your audience to click, to buy, to take action, it takes time. To get to know your ideal clients, to get to know your business, and to get to know your own personal preferences well enough so that you can whittle the essence of all those things down into sharp, hard-hitting copy that gets results. Now, if you don't learn how to write clearly so that the right people take action, you end up with one or all of these issues. You might struggle to get noticed. Maybe you're attracting the wrong people, or clients seem confused about the value that you provide, or people commenting on your posts, fantastic, but they're not buying, or it feels like your messaging just isn't working. Maybe you're confused about your value, or you're confused about your customer, or you're confused about your message, and people just aren't showing up. Something isn't working. And this confusion, these dots not being joined, is a big red cross through your business or brand. Why? Because one of the top reasons that businesses or brands fail is simple. Their message isn't compelling enough to prompt a customer to take action. It may be that the problem being highlighted by the business just isn't urgent enough to the customer. It may be that it isn't clear what the problem is that the business is here to solve. It may be that the existing solutions the customer already has are good enough. Whatever the reason, the offer doesn't provide enough value to spark customer action and to sustain a business. So what's the solution? To write attention-grabbing messaging that resonates with the core challenges and aspirations of your ideal customers so that they feel seen, heard, and understood. The more specific you can be, the more people will feel emotionally affected by your message and compelled to take action. The more general you are in your messaging, you won't hit any particular emotion. You won't make the right people feel seen or heard or understood. So, nailing your core message can make the difference between a failed business or a successful business. Your core message is what's most important to your ideal clients or market. The essence of what will grab their attention. So the benefit you provide, who it's for, and how you do it uniquely well. That's the benefit you provide, who it's for, and how you do it uniquely well. Now, if you mix these ingredients together, you get your core message. So if we mix together the benefit, the solution, how you do it uniquely well, into one succinct message, that's your core message. Now, today in this workshop, I'm going to walk you through a framework to create that clarity. Clear messaging you can use everywhere, from your banner to your sales page, clarity that will inform the way you think and write for your business, and brand messaging strategy that will take you from guessing what your target market wants to knowing what they want and getting that across to them in one succinct and hard-hitting sentence, a value proposition. So we're going to look at what is a value proposition, the benefits of a value proposition, examples, both good and bad, and we're going to do an exercise together and you're going to make your own value proposition to take home. And then we're going to look at ways you can level up your value proposition strategy. Let's dive in. What is a value proposition? It's a promise to the customer. It helps the customer to understand why they need you or your offer. It's a perfectly crafted one-liner, a sentence, providing clarity on the benefit you provide, to whom, and how you do it uniquely well, so that when your ideal client lands on your page, they feel spoken to. You've hit the nail on the head. It's like you've reached inside their head and you saw exactly what's troubling them, and not just the need for a tool or a product, but their emotional struggle that affects how they view themselves and their life. In that one sentence or few words, you help people to understand that what they get is more than the product or offer. It's more than the features and tools. The value proposition showcases the value that speaks to the customer's emotional brain, the part that often makes buying decisions. For your ideal customer, the value proposition paints a picture of how you'll get them to their dream future. And don't worry, I'm going to give you simple frameworks to use so that you know exactly what words to use to paint this picture of the dream future, so that you're taking your client from this confused, stuck state to imagining themselves in their desired future. Some of you are probably thinking, what is the difference between a value proposition and a tagline? Okay, just briefly, I'll touch on this. A tagline is usually shorter, a short statement that embodies a concept, idea, or aspect that your brand or business stands for as a whole, While a value proposition is more specific, it's often a bit longer. Most businesses have only one tagline that's instantly recognizable and it's connected to their brand as a whole, while many businesses use several value propositions for different offers, products, and to target different customers. Apple tagline, think different. Apple value proposition, the one that I found when I was looking at the website, the best experiences only on Apple. They may well have more than one. This is one I found. Spotify tagline, does anyone know? Listening is everything. Spotify value proposition, enjoy your music to your heart's content with premium individual. So that's a value proposition that's specific to a specific product, the premium level of Spotify. So we're going to look at all this more in the exercises, but for now, let's look at the benefits of a value proposition. So one of the main reasons businesses fail is that they're solving a problem that isn't important enough to the customer. So their offer isn't worth investing in. They don't get engagement on posts, they don't get clicks on links, they don't get DMs or inquiries or sales or bookings. And for that reason, a value proposition is one of the most important things that you can spend time on in your business, not just for the result of the attention-grabbing sentence that leaves no doubt as to your value and for whom, but also because it informs the way that you think as a business owner, the way that you write your posts and other copy, sales pages, emails, and the way that you get your message across. It gets you thinking like your customer. It gets you out of your own head and into the realms of moving towards turning views into customers. But wait, this next bit will really help to imprint the importance of a well-researched value proposition that informs all your copy and business decisions. Let's have a look at why people buy. Okay, buying decisions are influenced by several regions of the brain. The limbic system, or emotional brain, plays a major role in influencing our desires and motivations. So if a product or offer taps into our emotional desires, the limbic system can trigger a strong urge to buy. The prefrontal cortex, aka the rational brain, kicks in to assess whether a purchase is practical. And other areas of the brain might also get involved to assess aesthetics, textures, etc. So when selling, we are told to leverage this information by appealing to as many buying decision areas of the brain as possible. First, appealing to the emotions to get people's attention. So think painting the dream future, describing the pain of the current state, tapping into the emotions, and then following up with logical justifications, so think features and benefits, while including as well any aesthetics, etc., that would appeal or could appeal to your market. Okay, colors, visuals, etc. So are you starting to see how all of this information can really ramp up your selling potential, your ability to connect with your chosen market? Think about it. If you as a business leader can't speak the language of your market, your ideal clients, things aren't off to a great start, are they? Yet. Now, this is interesting. Some interesting piece of information I found on digital.com. Professor Brian Knutson and team at the Stanford University ran a fascinating experiment into how the brain makes purchasing decisions. And here's how they came up with this buying equation that you can see. So whilst people lay in a neural imaging scanner, the psychologists showed them a picture of a product. Then they showed them the price of the product and then asked them whether or not they would buy. The results gave really good insights into how the brain chooses to buy. When participants saw a product they might like to purchase, the reward center of the brain, the limbic or emotional, lit up like a Christmas tree, triggering, yes, I'd like that kind of reaction. But the fun happened when the brain saw the price. So the pain centers of the brain were activated when they saw the price. The part of the brain that deals with physical or emotional trauma, things like stubbing your toe or losing a loved one. Because there is no purchase section of the brain. Essentially, we evolved to survive, not to buy stuff online. So looking at the relative levels of activation in the brain, the amount of reward activation versus the amount of pain activation, researchers were able to predict whether or not that person would buy that product before that person had even decided. And it's this insight that led to the discovery of this purchase formula that you can see here, net value equals reward minus pain. So the likelihood of your client purchasing is influenced by their reward activation minus their pain activation, aka the price tag. So when selling, the area we have more potential to impact that can increase our sales is to increase the reward activation in the brains of your potential buyers, the limbic or emotional brain. We'll get onto this in more detail a bit later, but remember that key bit of information. Okay, now we know how important a value proposition is and what it is. Where do we use a value proposition? Everywhere. This is the first thing that you want people to see as soon as they land on your site anywhere online. So as you can see, top left, we've got Shopify. This is a website. When you land on the web page, we're looking above the fold. You just land on the page. This is what you see. Start selling online now with Shopify. So they're painting the desired future that I want. I want to start selling online. When they say now, it makes it sound really easy and really quick. Now, human beings want things to happen quickly and easily without much effort. So that's really appealing to me. And then they're telling me who it's with. So those are some of the most important pieces of information. And then top right, this is a billboard. So free up Saturdays with free shipping at Boxed. So free up Saturdays, that's a desired future. I don't want to have to do anything on the weekend. I don't have to shop. I want to have a free Saturday. So that's my desired future. That's appealing to me already. And then it's telling me what it is that gets me that. Okay, the image with the girl on, this is a YouTube video. Now, the title is How to Become a Six-Figure Life Coach Without Certification. So this person has included an objection. The objection is, well, hang on a minute. What if I don't have certification? I can't do that. She's saying, well, yes, you can, because I'm showing you how to become the desired future of what you want without one of your main objections, which is I don't have certification. So she's getting over a hurdle that you might have to click on this link. And then the t-shirt picture is a product description. So it says, wash less, wear longer, simplify your life with our best-selling 100% merino wool crew. So they're appealing to some of our desires with wash less, wear longer. They're making, we have to work less. They're making life simple for us. They've used the word simplify. They're telling us it's best-selling. So that's giving the product authority. And they're telling us what the product is. It's a top and it's merino crew. So that will appeal to certain types of people who like that kind of fabric. And then if we carry on, the top right is for a LinkedIn advert, including a desired future, get 10 qualified candidates in 10 days. So that's an attractive time frame. We'll go into this later. And then 10 times less than a headhunter. So again, that's an attractive number. And it's targeting an objection I might have. Now, the image, if you could close 4 to 5 figure clients weekly, would you start today? So again, we've got the desired future, which is I want to close around 4 to 5 figure clients, and I want to do it every week. And she's making it sound simple. If you could do it, would you start today? So she's implying I have everything you need to help with that. What she's not doing is targeting the who, the type of client that she wants. Whereas if we look at the bottom one, Jacob Peggs, he says, I'm helping solopreneurs. Now, he could niche down more specifically if he wanted to and say, I'm helping new solopreneurs in tech. But he is saying who? I help solopreneurs what sell 4 to 5 figure offers to dream clients. That's one of their desired futures. They get to work less. That's the desired future. He also gives them something which is power writing. And without sales calls, lots of people, that's a pain for them. They don't want to spend time and energy on sales calls. So he's really packing a lot into his value proposition there. Okay, so those are several ways that you can use value propositions, and you want to use it everywhere. You can use it in your LinkedIn posts, you can use it in your comments, because once you've got in your head the essence of the key factors that are attractive to your target market, you'll know it. It's in your head, and it will just roll off the tongue when you're on a podcast, interview, etc. You can feed it into everything so that you are constantly attracting the right people to you and repelling those that you don't want to serve. Okay, let's move on. Now, I've got some examples of value propositions here that are not so clear. Now, Chelsea Lynch is fantastic. Please go and follow her. She writes incredible copy. I find her really inspiring. What she's done here on her banner isn't a value proposition, but I'm showing it to you because it puts questions in my mind. And if we put questions in people's mind, we're more likely to lose them. So she's got her name in big writing, which is great. If you're someone like Gary Vee, who we all know, and that's already attractive and it means something to me, but she's not yet that big. So it's possibly not the most important thing that could be in the biggest writing on her banner. Now, then she goes and she says, I'm a women's coach, content creator, and lifestyle investor. So in a way, it's great. It's really simple. It tells us she does 3 things. Okay, maybe she's not at the level where she can write a succinct value proposition yet because she's doing these 3 quite different things. But already I have to work now to try and remember, okay, they're 3 quite different things. And what is a lifestyle investor? You know, does that mean nutrition, exercise, finance? Maybe it means everything, but I don't know. So I'm left with a question. If you leave questions in people's head, you're less memorable because they're already having to work to remember you, and you've already lost some chance to stick in people's minds. Okay, that's why I'm using her banner, but please do go and follow her because she's incredible. Next, we've got someone I don't know, Jay Izzo. He's got a lot of things going on here. We can tell he's an author. He's got a title on there, Coaching Mavericks. He's also got another title, A New Direction. Tells us a little bit about who he works with, personal and team coaching, which is great. But there's a lot going on. I have to look in a lot of different places and it's not very cohesive. And I'm left with questions. You know, what kind of coaching are you offering? Why have you called it Coaching Mavericks? Again, if we put questions in people's minds, we're more likely to lose them. Again, and a big name, unless you're a really big brand, that's not the most important thing that needs to stick in people's minds yet. Again, this person has 3 different things they're doing: business strategist, marketing consultant, mindset coach. Now, it's really common that we have lots of different things that we want to do. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, we are multidimensional people. We have lots of different interests. All I'm saying is that if you want to stick in people's minds, the more specific you can be, the more memorable you will be. So I'm just giving you examples of how this is less memorable because you're giving me more things to remember and they're not necessarily connected. She's not calling out who she works with, creating big dreams for small businesses. I mean, that's nice. It's a nice tagline. But it doesn't really tell me what it's about. I'm left with questions. Okay. The next one down, bringing out the you in your brand. Great. It's a nice tagline, bright colors. But what's it about? Is it about storytelling? Is it about visual branding? Again, not clear. Questions. I'm forgetting you. Okay, so those are just some examples to get your thought processes going about the importance of being specific with taglines, or as specific as you can be. The most important things to highlight first to get the attention of the right people are who it's for. We've done this already. How you do it uniquely, why you. I could go to anyone for web design, why you, and what the benefit or solution is. Now, as you can see, I've added some little different bits in here. So for the who for, I've added in pain, dream outcome, and objections. That all goes under who for. And on the how you do it uniquely, I've added in attractive results. We spoke about some of those. And desirable time frame. I just showed you some examples, but we'll look into that in more detail. So we're going to now get into the exercise part of this workshop. We will make a list of keywords under each of these 8 elements. I will list them for you using the knowledge that you have of one of your ideal client types, or guess it. If you have lots of different ideal client types, choose one. It will make this exercise a lot easier for you so that you can get it into your head, you can understand it, and then you can go off and do it again for your others, okay? The goal is to use the words that your ideal clients commonly use to describe each section. So here are the 8 titles in list form, okay? Number 1, who for? Number 2, pain. Number 3, dream outcome. Number 4, objections. Number 5, how you do it uniquely. Number 6, attractive results. Number 7, desirable time frame. Number 8, benefit solution. I want you to take this list, write it down, pause the video, and under each of the 8 headings, I want you to write a list of keywords. And at the end, we'll use a framework to piece together our own value proposition, and then we'll share results, okay? So I'll now talk you through each of the titles so that you know a bit more about each one. Now, bear in mind, the only way that you can answer these questions well, to support your business well, is by talking face-to-face with your desired audience, your market. So by all means, guess for this workshop to get this framework in your head, but then go out and book 20 calls with your ideal target market, or as close as you can get. Note the common answers under each of the 8 headings on a spreadsheet, and then write a value proposition that will actually speak the language of your target audience. But for now, we work with what you've got. Number 1, who is it for? If you don't know who, then who are you speaking to? Everyone? How do you get the attention of every age, every area of interest, every background, every style preference, every character type, other than ignoring all of them and creating a bland brand that speaks to no one? I just want you to jot a few pointers down for who this is for. This is not an essay. This is just describing your ideal client. But you can think about things like demographics, the age, gender, income, marital status, ethnic background, etc. You can think of psychographics, attitudes, interests, values, personality, activities, and you can think of location, level of awareness around your product, what their values are, etc. Remember, specificity helps to connect with your ideal clients. If you're really struggling with this, I have a niche workbook. Type niche into the comments and I can send it to you. So make some notes, pause the video, and then we'll go on to number 2. So number 2 is pain. It's the pain that your client is in before they have your service or your offer. So the unmet need, the urgent, unworkable problem. What are the customer pains in their words related to the problem that you solve. Now, as you can see, we've got external, internal, and philosophical. I want you to start with the external problems and then figure out the internal and the philosophical. Make sure that they are related to the external. You can use these keywords to trigger the emotional limbic brain. So let's look at external. So external is the physical, tangible thing that's getting in your customer's way. What obstacles do they have to overcome to get the thing they want? I've got some examples here. Let's say I can't pay my bills when I can't find work, or I can't play with my kids because I get out of breath, or I can't succeed as a solopreneur when I don't know what steps to take. So jot down the external pains, pause the video, and then we'll move on to the next one. Internal pains. The external problem we just did is causing an internal problem that the customer is troubled by and wants to resolve even more than the external problem, because it's more emotional. The internal problem is all about the frustration your customer is experiencing, feelings like frustrated, embarrassed, confused, alone. So in my first example, I can't pay my bills when I can't find work, and I'm failing my family. So pause the video and jot those down, and then we move on to the philosophical pain. This is the injustice your customers are facing as a result of dealing with the external problem. So these problems are often accompanied by the words should, shouldn't, fair, unjust. For example, all gay men should be able to marry without fear of being shunned by society, or children shouldn't have to walk 5 miles without water for a basic education. In my example, I can't pay my bills when I can't find work. I'm failing my family and myself. Why should Latinos need to work 10 times as hard to get hired? Okay, so jot down if you can think of any philosophical pains, and then we'll move on to the dream outcome, number 3. So jot down keywords for the dream outcome. Now, this could be internal, it could be external, it could be philosophical. I might want to have a best-selling book gaining national publicity. I want respect from my family. I want to have pride in myself. This is where you can really dig into the limbic brain activation and trigger people's emotional reasons for buying, okay? Really focus on this one. Pause the video and we'll move on to objections. You can look at external, you can look at internal. External, for example, my children won't give me the time to do the thing. Internal, I can't do that because I'm not you, because I'm not something. So jot down some objections. These are great things to add into your value proposition, and then move on. Number 5, how you are unique. So what does your offer need to do to be recommended by your customers, by your ideal customers? Why would they choose your offer over another? What do your favorite clients love about working with you? What have they said already? And then number 6, attractive results. Numbers work really well if you can include them. For example, 256 tech job hunters hired per day. That's an impressive result. 5,050 mums trained last year. Get 1% happier each day. Sell online without 10,000 followers. So just pause the video, think of any attractive results that you can include that either you've provided or your target audience would be attracted by. Number 7, desirable time frame. So how easy is it to achieve your solution? Because that will make a real difference in the buying behavior. How likely are your customers to succeed? Maybe lose 30 pounds in under 1 hour a week, or do your monthly shopping without wasting hours in the supermarket. So what desirable timeframes can you include? Number 8, benefits solution. Okay, so what solutions do you provide to those specific pains, internal, external, philosophical? Is it a framework? Is it a tool? Is it coaching? Is it a membership? Or is it a safe way to get from A to B? What specifically is the benefit solution that you provide? Pause the video, jot some notes down. So now you've used the 8 headings, you've written your keywords under each section. This is fantastic. I want you to keep this information, because if you're basing it on actual information from your target audience, this can help you to write your sales pages, your emails, your newsletters, and get more people buying. Now, I want you to have a play on your own for 5 minutes. Pause the video, use these frameworks, or make your own. Use your keyword list to fill in the blanks. I want you to make one value proposition that targets the most important factors in each section. Important to who? To your ideal client. So for example, the first one might be build a website without wasting hours at the computer in 3 hours. That's not great, but you get my point. The next one might be stop smoking without having to use patches. But you're obviously using the most commonly referred to pains and desired futures and objections, etc. You see how you can really play around. It's up to you how you present this. It doesn't have to be one sentence. The structure doesn't matter. It just has to roll off the tongue easily and really hit the emotions of your target audience. Now, I hope you've written your value proposition. Please don't stop here. Just keep going with these. Keep writing different value propositions. You can have a different value proposition for your different products, for different target audiences, etc. So let's have a look now at how to up-level your value proposition. As customers and markets change over time, your company needs to evolve with them. Equally, value propositions have to evolve too. So even if you already have a value proposition in place, do consider carving out the time to revisit it every 6 to 12 months, rather than making assumptions about your community based on their past needs and behaviors. It's best to create feedback loops so that you can keep up to date and not risk pitching the wrong offer and losing sales. So feedback loops, it could be questions in your newsletters, it could be forms online, it could be market research, it could be social posts asking questions of your target market, it could be polls on LinkedIn. So if you can think of any other ways to set up feedback loops, quizzes are a great thing to put on your website to get information. And bear in mind that it's not just your customers and their needs that change. Your needs will change too. For example, I had one client recently changed her niche slightly because she realized she only wanted to work with people who had written national media level books and nothing else, because that was her zone of genius. So what that realization told her was that her customer profile needed to change slightly, and her value proposition needed to reflect that she was not working with people who had written any kind of book. It needed to be national media ready kind of book. So obviously it means you need to put more work in, you need to change your copy. And yes, that does mean websites, newsletters, LinkedIn profile, everything. But when we keep this up to date, we're attracting the right people who actually want to work with us. And we're attracting the kind of people that we're going to enjoy working with so much more. Obviously, as your business evolves, you start to learn more and more about those things, about, well, who do I want to work with and who do I not want to work with anymore? Every time you realize there's a shift, you can tweak your messaging. So ways you can up level your value proposition, okay? So value propositions, you could have, as I said, separate ones for products, services, and buyers to appeal to different emotional needs. You must always think like your audience in their words, with the knowledge that they have before trying your service. They don't have the knowledge that you have. You know what they need. They don't necessarily know that yet. So you need to speak to them at the level of awareness that they are at. You only know that if you speak to them and find out and ask them the right questions to find out what level of awareness they are at, okay? Be specific. I hope you've realized from today's workshop that the more specific you are, the more you will trigger people's emotions and buying habits in the right way. And then you can do things like split testing. So you could split test web pages, you could split test LinkedIn adverts, you could try different LinkedIn posts using different types of copy and see what performs better, what speaks to your ideal client and gets more clicks. Using testimonials and case study results is great to use and pull into your value proposition. If they have numbers in them, all the better, because using numbers works really well. It sort of gives you a sense of authority and seems somehow more reliable to the human brain. So I really hope you found that helpful. My name is Kati Harris. The workshop was called What to Write So People Take Action. Go off and use your value proposition. Find me on LinkedIn, where I'm building my brand and I'm giving insights into how female leaders can find clients and sell offers on LinkedIn. Come and say hi. And if you found this helpful, I would love you to give me a recommendation on LinkedIn. You can go onto my main page, scroll down, give me a recommendation, or send it to a friend if you think they could need some help with their messaging. And hey, we all need help with our messaging. It's something that most businesses struggle with. Like I said, nearly all of the clients I've worked with in the last 8 years of helping solopreneurs, SMBs, influencers with their businesses, nearly everyone needs to work more on getting this messaging clarity and working on their value propositions than people realize. And it really slows down business progress. So don't let that be you. Thank you so much. Take care. See you again. Bye.